Hello once again, Wildcats, and welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner presented by Atrium Health. My name is Paul Roper, joined by head football coach Thakkar as the Cats get ready for their final non-conference game against Greensboro College under the lights. Now with 3 games in the book against 3 very tough opponents, the last of which a ranked Tennessee Tech team. What are some of the things you've learned about your team through these first 3 weeks?
I think, some of the things, like, our guys aren't really going to shy away from competition. I think we set out at the beginning of this thing knowing that we wanted to play some really good teams early. And we had a young team that needed to experience it. So I think our team's, ready to compete. They've definitely responded to coaching very well, and they have a great attitude as we move on to this next phase now.
On the last game against Tennessee Tech, there was a really good stretch in which the Cats were able to score a couple touchdowns. In fact, one of those was preluded to by a turnover in the red zone, able to recover a fumble. Talk about that stretch, about where your team played, which were able to, seize a little bit of momentum in that second quarter.
Yeah, it was a glimpse of what we can be when things are clicking, and we got 11 guys on the same page. A couple really good third down conversions offensively, a long drive that led to Ivan Hoyt, catching a short post in the end zone. And then Christian Lyons, a freshman for us who played significantly both as a returner in the kick and punt return game and at corner, is just an awesome football player. It was great to see him get out there in his first kind of live reps that weren't special teams. And boy, was he a difference maker for us. He did a great job in coverage, and like you said, forced that turnover that we were able to capitalize on with Brody Arena catching the ball in the end zone through traffic.
Well, you mentioned Christian Lyons and Hudson Altenberg in our postgame, 2 freshmen that were leading tackle-wise. But a player that I was impressed with that I did not mention was Nakoma Scott. He had a sack on Saturday, part of a very young defensive line. But I thought the sophomore had some really nice plays out there.
Yeah, and he's getting better every week. He's got the frame. I mean, he's the type of the body type you want your defensive ends and edge players to look like. And, he's young and he's coming along. Coach Kasabian's doing an awesome job with him and some of our other young defensive ends, just getting him used to playing college football, being simple while at the same time doing or executing what they need to execute. And, he gives us a different element with his athleticism, his length, his size, to be able to get after quarterbacks and also be a factor in the run game.
Coulter Cleveland is a player that you've known for quite a while. You tried to recruit him during a previous stop that you had prior to here. Now he's your quarterback. He's going to be our guest this week on our halftime report. Coulter is someone who had to come back from a major injury last year, only played in 3 quarters, but he's come back and so far has showed some nice play here and there as he really tries to get back into form.
Yeah, I think, he had 1 turnover last week that I know he wants back, but aside from that, he played a pretty clean game. I mean, he's throwing the ball well, he's seeing it well. Kind of forget how much is on his plate from 1, obviously coming back from an injury, but 2, also learning a new system, being a captain, and the leadership role he has on the team. So he's got a lot on his plate, and he's handling it really well, and he's only going to continue to get better.
Now you focus on a Greensboro College team decidedly different from your first 3 opponents, is that they come from Division III. However, they've been competitive in their 2 games so far. What are some of the things we should expect from the Pride this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, they play hard. I know they had a huge win week 1 for their program in a rivalry game. So we're expecting them to come in and fight. Just like it is every week, we got to take care of us and play a clean game, with what we can control and our effort and our technique and our fundamentals, and hoping that leads to execution on game day.
Well, Coach, we're certainly looking forward to it. Always good to be back home on Field 76.
That's right.
Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. Go Cats.
Go Cats. He's head football coach Thakkar. My name is Paul Roper. This has been another edition of Coach's Corner presented by Atrium Health. We'll have our Pepsi pregame show on the Davidson Sports Network from Learfield starting at 6:30. Toe Meets Leather at 7 p.m. on Field 76 at Davidson College Stadium. Have a good week, everybody.